This is 9 to 5 to riches with stocks. As you follow along in my journey and see how I'm going to go from a negative of 20K to a positive of 1 to 200 grand, if not more. But that's the goal. 1 to 200K is the goal. Right now, we've started with 44.4. I put another 400 because I just got paid recently, and I have a $1,000 call that expires on the 15th of December. So I got about a month for Microsoft to make a nice little move, a 1 or 2% move, and to the upside, and I'll see some nice green on that. Same thing with this, 1 to 2%. If you look at 425, it's really just 2% away from where we are now. And Microsoft does have 1% days when you see these large moves. And I think we just hold this consolidation. If we can, maybe even if the stock does go down to 510, 511 bounce, 509, 409, I'm sorry, I'm at 409, we'll be fine. Little couple, 2% down, 2% up. As long as I catch the upper side of the move here, and this, this can go all the way to 467, which is nearly 15% from where we are now. And that would be beautiful. A 15% gain would actually be $7,500 on 55K, and I would basically be back to even. I would be not here, wouldn't be here, be all the way up here pretty much. And that's like a cup and handle effect, basically, of what I've done so far. Or hopefully this is a cup and handle, and I just get a huge rip in the chart. Okay, Microsoft stock, how's it looking? On the 1 week, it looks down. We broke the 417, I get it, okay. But look at this. 1.40 basis points, 1.65. Very, very close. We're still basically in this 417 range, I think, and we can come back to 424 retest pretty easily, and 424 retest would be a nice 1.5% gain. 1.5% on 55 would be a nice little gain there. $825. And I would probably trim the 31 and a half shares and just keep the 100 if that does happen, if we get a move to 425. And I do think 437 is really it's on the table. 3 months chart. We've been upholding 410 to 415, and there's nothing really in the middle so far. It's kind of like 430 or 415 where we are now. And I'm going to buy around 415. Where did this bounce off of? 410. Where did it get rejected? About 417, under where we are now, which is not good. But there is strong support where we are at 410. And that's like another 1 or 2% down. But if that does happen, I'm willing to wait that out. That's not a problem. I don't need to sell anytime soon. That 425 resistance, which is right here at the base of the large move here, I think that's why it's kind of hard to pass. 425, 425. And then on the closer trend chart, we're getting rejected about 425, 425, 425. That's like a resistance. But I think when we do go above it, we're going to fly past it, and we're going to see, we're going to get back into the range of, potential seeing 440 to 450. And, we get like a 450, 445, 445 minus my average, 418, 418.50. Even if you buy it right now, it's about 416, so you get another $2.28. But on $26.50, that'd be times 100. It's $26.50, or what I have now. If I do hold it to 244, it'll be $3,400. And either way, if I get a nice gain around 2K, that'd be gorgeous for the account. And when I look at the downside, before I get into a trade, I'm always looking at the downtrade. Don't think I'm not looking at the downside. Sheesh. Need to grab some water. I always am. 401. That's really bad. But 401, 400 a share is the bottom dollar. That's really the bottom dollar. 400, even 396. It's right there at 400. That beautiful piece right there. And where do we dip under? 390. This is the true bottom, I suppose. And that's, you know, 17% drop, about 15% drop from where we are now. It's pretty ugly, but there is a pretty strong upside, about 15% upside. So see where we go from here. And you know, Trump's in, and it's not even just about the presidency. That's not that. I feel like a lot of that hype is over. We know who won, and at this point, go with this card. I'm at my 9 to 5 right now. This is 9 to 5 to riches with stocks. So I'm in 100 shares right now. My plan is to sell a covered call at highs, at like extreme highs, not just like some mid high where we're at like the middle channel, the middle higher channel. I want to get closer to all-time highs and then sell a covered call up here for, you know, sell a covered call, tap on that. I have 100 shares. Probably go like a month out, you know, suppose, you know, thinking that maybe in 2 weeks it can pull back and I'd be able to get some crazy profit. I'd probably be able to sell it for like, if we're at 440, where are we now? If we're at 440 and it was, so that's 440, that's $30 more. So $30 higher where we are now. So we're at 415 minus 30. That is, what is that? It's 45, no? That's 345. 375. 365. Yeah, 365. It's like us selling it at 365. Like, look at that, $5,200. It's you can get some insane premiums. That's $5,300. And it's basically doing that because if you're buying it at 415, you can stomach that. Like, I can sell it at 417.50 if I bought it at 1580, and 32 days out, I make a guaranteed 950. Gorgeous. And the downside is, good chance it's going to be above 417.50. So it might not be, but there's a good chance it is. Just because, you know, the market goes up slowly over time. And a month, you know, if we're kind of down now, it's potentially, you know, we could break above, we could be under. No one really knows, but we can only do the best of our guessing. And, you know, since it's shares, we're holding it. We don't lose money because we're holding it. But if you do sell a covered call at 417.50 with any stock, not just Microsoft, you keep the premium, and if the stock is above 417.50, it will sell it at 417.50. You'll get the $2 difference from your average to here, which is $200, and you'll get the 950. If it's under the 417.50, you just keep your shares and you keep the premium. And that's it. That's how covered calls work. You know, they might be down. Never really try to sell them early. I let them expire. There's small cases where you might want to sell it because you think the stock's going to keep moving and this and that, but you got to be careful. I would just wait till it expires, let it do what it's going to do. So you know the downside and the upside of the option. SPY's looking pretty nice here. I mean, people are thinking we're gonna get a huge crash. It does the opposite. It catches, and we're probably going to keep going higher. Maybe go a little bit above this 450, and then have a crash, massive pullback. I don't know. Maybe a little bit, you know, 445 over here, 545. I mean, 545 around here, 540. Maybe half the move, 535, 540, and then there's a large crash after. We don't know, but yeah, interesting. It's a crazy wedge we're getting. We're getting like a crazy, insane bullish pattern, but you know, can't go up forever. We'll see. But we do have another like month or so, you know, before January, and I think that's where there's going to be another piece of large news. And if there's no large news, and the market's kind of market sentiment, you know, things are pretty okay, they're just going to go up. And so far, it's what it's been doing. For today, guys, just tracking the crypto crypto, it's really not worth it. When you buy and you sell, it sells it and buys at different prices than you actually see on the screen. It's like 1% cost, quarter percents, and then on top of that, the swings are insane. It's like, oh, this is in a month, it's up 170%. What do you do when it pulls back 70%? And you're like, oh, I'm just gonna bag up here. You're like, oh, I'm making so much money, I'm just gonna bag hold it, even if it goes down. Now you're down 70%. Or, oh, you made some profit? Oh, yeah, now you're down 30% on your large position that you just went in on crypto. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Not a financial advisor. Don't, do whatever you want. But if I were to talk to myself and tell myself, in my experience, it's not good. And the train on Bitcoin, it's at like 90K right now. Bitcoin, it's over. The train was at like 15, 16K at the base. I would wait for a Bitcoin crash to like 50K to buy in. Or 60, 50, 60, 62K. But, if you're a long-term Bitcoiner, that's fine too. You can, if you're willing to wait five years plus and, buy it whenever. In 4 years, 3 years. But large crashes are possible. Same thing with the stock market. But what I like to see is we came out of a COVID pandemic, like a world type of threat thing for like that we were really in for a while, and we've completely recovered. And we're consolidating right now. Now, what's the stock going to do now? Could eventually come back to the base here, which is a 27%, about a 30% drop on Microsoft, and probably a much, much larger drop on the rest of the market. Insane crash, but what would be? It could be, an assassination. It could be anything here. Could be a war or something, inflation numbers that are true start coming out or something, markets start to crash, you get close to, like a 20% drop. We dip under previous lows, or we get to previous lows. But even then, if we go to the base of here, this is kind of the new base, 5%, 12%, 389. Minus 10%. 415, if we had a 10% drop, about a 5% drop from here is this point here. So, okay. 5% is pretty large on 55K, but I'm willing to stomach it. And if that holds, it can really it could potentially, rip back up. I'd assume it would hold a low point, like a 399. And there's tons of consolidation, though, which tells me, like, it's probably not even going to go to 400. It's probably, it's hit thought I was going to hit 410, and what does it do? The opposite of what you think. Hits 406, bounces. 410 holds. 408, drops a little again, and then it shoots 425. Now we're at 415. And that volume right there, the recent, all this volume tells me that it wants to go higher. So I'm expecting, a higher move up, and to try to make the base kind of like here. Like a 425 is like the new support. Previous resistance, 425. 425. 425. And like probably like a 420 or 415, like super bottom. Maybe 400 is the true bottom, but we've been a 467, and we gave up 15% from there. So I think it's about time to, liquidity has been created. All this chopping, people have lost money, made money. There's some liquidity, and I think the stock can come higher. It'd be beautiful. We saw a nice little gain of 10%. 460 is pretty much near the top of the head, and 10% on 55 would be nice. 5,500 gain. And we're down to about 7.7. It'll only be down 2. I was thinking about selling a covered call this morning, around 418, where it did hit 418 this morning. but I was unsure. I was like, I think there's more room, and I was very hopeful. And hope doesn't mean much, but I was happy that my luck was struck a little bit, and we hold the 414, 415, and I go on the 1 week and the 1 month, 3 months, the 1 year, and 415 is a nice support. And we held right here before like a real crash. 414 before the edge of the dip here, about 416 support here. 415, 416, we're about 415, 414, 415. Look at that, basically at the base here. Are we going to rip down to here? Is this the true base? I don't think so. I think that's an extended base. 410 is very possible, but I don't want to go there, but it's possible. It's likely to, I suppose. But I think maybe we're going to get a nice little rip sooner or later. We just had one or two. Should be some nice moves. A lot of people have Tesla stock as well. Tesla stock, don't think I'm not watching all these other stocks in my portfolio. I am. I'm just not really going to add to them unless I see a real deal. If you bought 350 to the 311 drop, yes, you're making a 10% move. Yeah, you're making a 10-20% move from buying this dip. But what's the risk, though? The downside is massive. The downside is I don't know. The downside doesn't seem worth it. The base is pretty much like right here. This was at 220. Stock crashed at 220. That's not going to be fun. From 338. I'm willing to just buy more at 220. I want to have Tesla stock long term. I don't want to sell in case it does go higher and it doesn't come back to 220. So I'm just going to hold it instead of trimming it up here. Same thing with NVIDIA. I look at NVIDIA and it looks beautiful. I look at Amazon, it looks beautiful. But it's all the same. They're just so high. I just don't really want to buy up here. Or if I do, say I'm starting a new position on Amazon, I would just get like half a share. Check the market in 2 weeks, get another half share, or see how the market's doing. Is it consolidating a ton? Is it going up a ton? Is it going down? Whatever it is, just slowly dollar cost average, even less than half a share, every 2 weeks. For some people, is fine. Very slowly ease into it, and if you do that for a full year, like $5 a day even, you'll high likelihood that you'll average out, up 10 to 20, 30% potentially, and it's better than zero, or it's better than negative to do this type of safe way dollar cost average. But okay, guys, we got this much margin, 18K, 51%. This is my downside. I looked it up, and the Microsoft stock would have to, crash at an insane level, world-ending type shit. Excuse my language. For me to be down 18K on the 55 for the way Microsoft moves. Even if it drops to the next channel, I will still be okay. See the next channel down. 345, 415. 415 minus 25%. Let's say 20%. 345. I'm trying to find what 345 is. Okay. Okay, it's about a 16% drop. About a 16% drop will take me all the way down here, where the next potential bounce is. 345. So if I lost 16% on 55, $55,000 get back to equal. That'd be 8,800. That's 8,800 potential loss. And I can hold through that and come back on top. And I still have $10,000 margin buffer. They'll have a $10,000 margin buffer. Okay? That's why I'm taking this type of risk. I believe I can stomach it, and I'll be okay. And I'll come out with money on the other side. Not money, but profit. But look at this. And this is a lag right here. We lag because of COVID. And with this much volume, I think because we've got a nice strong breather from COVID, there's a good possibility we're not really going to slump or chop around. I think we're just going to keep going on a lot of these stocks. And this consolidation is just gorgeous. Are we going to have a nice swing and, chop it up with Microsoft? I don't really think so. We're going to chop too much with Microsoft. This is the second largest holding on the technology sector for SPY, or VOO. This is basically the number one, number two stock in the world. United States, yes, stock market. Apple, NVIDIA, Microsoft. Microsoft is pretty close to NVIDIA and not that far from Apple, but further from Amazon and further from Meta and Alphabet by a lot. 6.25%. The total assets, 35% of total assets, is the top 10 holdings, but that's a large amount. It's a third, basically. A third of it is in all these, whereas the rest is in some crazy sectors. Financials, bank stocks, healthcare, consumer clinical. So, if you want to get some technology, financial, and a little bit of healthcare, a little bit of industrials, energy, utilities, basic materials. But most of the stocks in the S&P 500 aren't very good. They don't really do much. But the top handful, they do carry the market. The year-to-date is beautiful. I love how it's only up 11% on the year-to-date on a stock like Microsoft. It's beautiful. Because that tells me that it has, once we get another strong up move, it's going to be violent. And the downside is holding, which is good. Yeah, can't wait. And that's my plan, guys. This is going to be a beautiful move, hopefully. If not, just going to hold through it. This is all you can do. You can't really be an emotional trader or even swing trader, investor. If you want to make money in the stock market, just stick to the rules, stick to the basics. Don't break them. Don't say, I think I'm going to be lucky. Let me just buy at the top of Microsoft. Let me buy at the top. And I bought this naked call, I think at I had very little sleep, okay? So I bought a naked call at, it's about the 15th. It's about 415, 416 a share. Why am I on the year chart? I bought it about here, 416 a share, and if we get it past $420 a share, this $1,000 call option that I could potentially lose $1,000 within a month if the stock doesn't make a large move to the upside. If we get to 425, this is I believe in a lot earlier than a month. If this gets to 425, goes back to resistance or even breaks it, this call option could be worth well over $1,000, and that's $2,000 right now, $1K. I'll be at 6,700. Try to get the 4, 5, 10% move on Microsoft. Safe play long term. So another 5, 10%. I'll be guaranteed to be making back the 7,700. And I got another spam caller calling me at the end of the video. I don't know who that is. Not going to answer that call. But you guys have a great day. Do not touch your position. Sit on your hands. If it's not time to buy, don't buy. Is it time to sell? Probably not, because you probably should be holding it long term. Why do you want to sell? That's what you need to ask yourself. Do you want to sell because maybe you didn't, position yourself well in the first place? That's your fault. Don't do that. I've been telling you guys, buy low, sell high. Or trim high. Yeah, that's basically it. You guys have a great day. Go to work, make as much money as you can, put as much to the side as you can. You can't make enough money. Go make more money. Figure it out. That's what people do. Make some more money and put a little bit more into the stocks, into the bank account and investments, or just let it sit in your portfolio, making that 4.5% a month, a year. I mean, sorry. If you have Robinhood Gold, link in the description. Actually, there's not going to be a link in the description, but if you leave a comment, I'll give you my link to make a Robinhood account or my Gold if you want to sign up for Gold. If I get like 25 signups, I get like a Gold Robinhood card. Probably not going to get 25 signups, very not likely, but you know, I get lucky sometimes. We'll see. We'll see. But this is going to be a beautiful gain on the account. If you guys are following along, you know, buying some calls, or you know, if you're betting against me, you know, you're buying puts right now, that's cool too. You know, watch me. You know, you can laugh in the comments as I'm losing money. You know, do whatever you want. But all I know, 9 to 5 to riches with stocks. Leave a like, comment if you want, subscribe because it's free. Get a little bit of free information, free gains in the portfolio, long-term growth. Get rich, guys. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. People will tell you how hard it is. You know, it's so hard, dude. It's like, what are you talking about? Wasn't that hard. Come on, you just gotta be patient.